This is the car that many said Porsche would never make, the Cayman GT4 RS. Its ingredients are relatively simple. You take the engine of a 911 GT3 in all of its 9,000 RPM glory, and you put it smack bang in the middle of the 718 Cayman platform. It promises to be the most exciting sports car of our time, and lucky for us, we're at sunny Estoril to put that to the test. If you want to stay up to date with all things performance related, don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Now, taking a GT3 engine and putting it in a Cayman wasn't an overnight job, with Porsche having to make some very clever changes in the process to make the 4-litre flat 6 fit. As a result of a new exhaust, power is now 368 kilowatts while torque sits at 450 newton meters. All that grunt is sent exclusively to the rear wheels via a 7-speed PDK transmission. Sorry, but you won't be finding a manual here. That's okay though, as the gearbox calibration is truly fantastic. Porsche also worked hard to save weight, with the GT4 RS weighing just 1,415 kilograms with a full tank of fuel and no driver. One of the few areas where Porsche has actually increased the weight is in the brake discs, because they've increased the diameter of the front units. But it's a welcome change, because there's an excellent level of feel and response from the brake pedal, and the stopping power when you're on it is truly phenomenal. The changes don't just stop with the new engine and some weight saving. Porsche has also fitted the GT4 RS with gum-like Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres, a new suspension tune with bespoke spring rates, Motorsport developed aerodynamics, fixed back bucket seats, racing harnesses, and a construction site's worth of interior scaffolding. As far as signalling track-ready intentions go, the new Cayman Halo is deadly serious. To prove the GT4 RS's track credentials, Porsche test driver Jörg Bergmeister, lovely bloke by the way, set a time of 7 minutes and 9 seconds around the full 20-kilometre Nordschleife Nürburgring. That's a whopping 23.6 seconds quicker than the decidedly not slow at all standard GT4. That is, to put it frankly, a ridiculously fast time. But before we get too far with driving the Cayman on track ourselves, I need to make a quick apology. The cabin of the GT4 RS is such a cataclysmically loud environment that I was having trouble hearing myself think, let alone getting my thoughts out at 200 kilometers an hour. As a result, things got a little shouty. So, sorry about that. Regardless, on with the action. So what's the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS on track? Well, luckily for Porsche, it's brilliant. This thing was built to go on track, and it does so in amazing ways. You might think that with a front end that is this sharp, that the rear end would be loose, but you get such confidence from both ends of the car that you get confidence to go and push harder than you might think. And Estoril is a fantastic track to test this car because it's got a great combination of different styles of corner. You've got slow hairpins, you've got double apexes, you've got fast sweepers, and the last corner, named after the great Ayrton Senna, is a real challenge. When you're going through there, you get to play with the throttle and feel how the balance of the car shifts as you do so, moving between understeer and oversteer. And you can do that in the GT4 RS because this thing is so communicative. It's got this wonderful natural balance that you can then inject your driving style onto and make it move around and play as you want. Part of what gives the GT4 RS so much punch out of the corners is that it's fitted with the shortest possible gear ratios Porsche could find for the 7-speed PDK. They're shared with the 991.1 generation GT3 RS, and along with the extra 1000 RPM from the engine, combined to completely rid the car of our major gripe of the standard GT4 and the way its gears seemingly went forever. Speaking of the standard GT4, there are quite a few changes in airflow management for the RS, despite both cars being fitted with a 4-litre naturally aspirated flat 6. The biggest change is the air intakes, which now replace the windows that would usually appear behind the car's B-pillar. These then feed into a carbon fibre airbox that sits, quite literally, inside the cabin, right behind the driver. This adds a level of theatre to the driving experience that has to be heard to be believed. Putting the engine of a 911 GT3 into a Cayman is something of a controversial topic within Porsche, but the result, oh my god, this engine is really fantastic. And combined with the shorter gear ratios, it gives it a frenetic character that just wants to pull and pull and pull. I mean, listen to this! Listen! 9,000 RPM! Oh my god, it's so good! What I hope that you are getting from this is the sound in the cabin, because my god, is it amazing. It's got to be easily one of the best driving experiences in terms of sound I have ever had. Having those induction funnels essentially right behind your ears, and then you have the airbox inside the cabin. There is a variety of tenors and frequencies and tones to this car that you don't really fully understand until you get on the road, and thankfully we've had that opportunity, and when we get it in Australia, it'll be a real challenge for this car. When we took the GT4 RS away from the racetrack and onto public road, we quickly learned that it isn't just a one-trick pony. All those elements that make an engaging track car continue on road. For the first time in the Cayman's history, Porsche has fitted a hydraulic nose lift kit, allowing you to get that chin-scraping front splitter higher for urban driveways. Something owners will definitely be thankful for. Unfortunately though, the quality of the tarmac in Portugal was so good that we didn't really get a great understanding of how the suspension damping handles the type of imperfections you'd typically experience on Australian roads. We can expect to see the new King of the Caymans taking to Australian roads in the second half of this year. While the entire allocation isn't quite sold out just yet, keen customers will need to talk to their local Porsche dealer very soon if they want the privilege of adding one to their garage. Now you can't really drive a Porsche Cayman GT4 RS without talking about the steering, and my god, the steering, it is electric. It feels alive in your hands. There's a great amount of communication from the front end. You're always sure of what it's doing, and it's got so much bite, but there's plenty of malleability in the way that it responds and the way that it communicates all of these changes that you never really get caught by it. It's not a spiky car, it's not a scary car, it's a really fast car. Thankfully for us, Porsche has managed to build something that does live up to the lofty expectations that come with a badge like GT4 RS. But it raises a bit of a tricky question. What about the Porsche 911 GT3? The whole reason this car took so long to exist is its bigger brother. Many people thought that this car would eat its lunch. Now, thankfully, both can live side by side with two distinct personalities. The GT4 RS being the much livelier example. It is a raw car that is built for true drivers.